professional photos definitely helps. Building a professional website, you need to think about the reason for doing that. Hi guys, welcome to a new show, a weekly show called the Friday FAQ. This gives you a chance to ask me questions about guitar, music, recording, what life is like on the road. And so far, some of you have brought some brilliant questions to me about recording guitars, which I'm going to answer today, and about making social media content and getting yourself out there as a professional guitar player. Hey, when you record guitars, how many tracks do you record? And do you record with different guitars? So far, I only recorded with my Ibanez 𝕱𝖆𝖆𝖫. Okay, cool question. How many tracks do I record? We have double tracking, which is a norm, a standard. Double tracking is where I will record one guitar performance and then I will play it again and try to match the guitar performance in terms of my timing and my touch and my technique, everything like that. The advantage to doing that is that when you have two tracks on top of each other, it's actually the slight difference in timing, although you are trying to get as close to the original take as possible. It's that difference in timing that makes it sound big. Thinking about my stereo width, my stereo image, so listening to music in our left and right ears, I will pan those two performances to one side and then record them again and pan them to the right. So I've got a double tracked performance in both my left and my right ear. The next thing is quad tracking. Quad tracking is quite popular in like modern metal production. I'm just speaking about metal because I know that's the music you love, dude. We both love that kind of music. So quad tracking takes longer, of course. You basically just double that. So you're going to record 4 layers of guitars now and put them one in the right ear, one in the left ear. The question of if I record with different guitars, the answer is yes and no. The answer is no if I get the job done with one guitar that does everything I need it to. If the guitar is providing something that's different or something that I need it to do, that it's really great at doing. An example might be my single cut style guitars. So my Les Paul or my PRS single cut. Those have a really thick, I'm not going to say heavy because there's, different words and it's subjective. It's a really thick sound, a lot of body. It's very full because of its mahogany body and its pickups, and just that's the combination of those guitars. They're really good at that. If I'm looking for something that's really chimey and bright and is going to do a wonderful job with my clean tones, I would probably go for my Strat. If I want a twang, but at the same time a very versatile guitar, I might use my Telly. As I'm editing this, I just want to say, if you found any of this useful or you like what I'm making right now, please hit that subscribe button and that like button. It really does help out. If you have any guitar playing friends or any buddies that you think are going to enjoy this content, please share it with them and encourage them to ask questions, and I'll put it in a future episode. The other thing to consider is pickups, right? So in metal, for example, we think about passive and active. Passive pickups being they are not using a battery. Active pickups, they need an additional power. They have a 9-volt battery in them. I would consider using active or passive pickups based on if I like the sound. Maybe a guitar has active pickups that sound a little more aggressive and they give me a more compression that I'm looking for, like EMGs. Something like the Fishman Fluent pickups are awesome. Those are really cool. Those are relatively new technology, not like pickups that have been wound for years and years and years and years. These pickups give us the opportunity to have both active and passive within the same pickup. They have a quite, I want to say, like hi-fi, very aggressive, bright sound that I wasn't entirely a fan of in the beginning because I'm so used to traditional sounding pickups. Those have grown on me more now in the context of aggressive modern metal. As I've heard them more, as I've played them more, it took some getting used to. So I might use a guitar with Fishmans, for example, for really, really modern metal. If I'm going for a classic sound, I might use something like a Les Paul. If I'm playing anything like Ozzy or Dio, I'm going to do that kind of thing. It's just learning a little bit more about the history of records, I think, and the production that's used on them, the guitars that's used on them, and your own personal taste. It's quite a long answer, but the answer is yes. If it's worth using and there's something I can get out of the different guitars, I'm trying to create variety in the sound that blends well when we're recording. No, if it just does the job. and it's great with one guitar. So the next question I've received says, "Hey Ben, I've got a quick question for you. I've been thinking a lot about the next steps in my career as a guitarist, and there are a few things I feel I should work on. Number one, creating more content for social media. Number two, building a proper website. And number three, maybe getting some professional photos for the website and socials. I'd really like to hear your opinion. Is there anything you'd add or you think I could do better?" Okay, so excellent question. The first thing I'll address is creating a website. So I definitely think it's useful to have a website. I have a number of websites for different reasons. One of them is a website purely about my resume. It's called an EPK, Electronic Press Kit. It's one landing page that has maybe the tracks I've recorded on. It has the tours that I've worked on. It has professional photos on there. And it has like musical theatre productions and the artists I've worked with. So, and any endorsements, that I have. It's like a professional site with all of that. That looks great. That answers the question of whether you should have professional photos done. If you are looking to put a website together, it's good to have professional photos. When I went to music university, we were taught about something called biographies, right? So a biography, for me, it's like a blurb, some information about me and my career, and it does have a professional photo or a number of professional photos on that. I use that to send to companies or send to, directors, music directors, things like that, in order to gain their attention when I'm either applying for something that's been advertised, or in some cases, I'm not even applying. Like a gig that I got recently, or a company that I'm now going to start working with, I just sent my information to them with my credentials and my history and said, "Hey guys, I'd really love to work with your collective of musicians. I've heard a lot about you in the last 2 years while living here, and I think your collective of musicians are amazing. I think they're very high level." And from that, I got asked to come along and audition. There was not any guitar auditions actually at the time, which is funny. So went along, played the songs, had a great time, and got a yes on the spot. So having professional photos does help you when you are reaching out to people like that. The next thing I'll talk about is creating social content for social media. Now, when I was younger, I didn't do that so much, but just because it wasn't as big. I made YouTube content, but I consider YouTube a different platform to Instagram. Instagram, in a way, is like, it's almost like a visual portfolio of my resume, my work, and my skill set. That's how I see it. Because people, click on the profile and immediately they get an idea of who you are. Be the biography at the top, the little link information and text, but also the way it's displayed. So for my Instagram, I do it all myself. I try to make all of my images and thumbnails look professional. I use photo editing software like, Photoshop or Canva to create these kind of things. And then I have videos of me playing. Now, you'll see on Instagram, I'm going to use Instagram at first. You'll see on Instagram, there's lots of people doing the same kind of thing, and it works. So there's people out there just posting videos of them playing licks or their skills like playing, right? And that definitely seems to blow up. I don't do quite as much of that, where it's just the camera, me playing licks, shredding, with my setup behind me. I personally use it, as I said, as a portfolio of what my life is like, because my ambition is to help guitar players just as much as it is to present myself as a musician and my skills, right? So if you are thinking about social media and Instagram specifically, you want to think about what audience you're trying to appeal to and what content you should be making for them. If you just want people to appreciate your guitar playing, then you just need to maybe make videos of you playing and, having some production value or like understanding the production side of things does help. Lighting, there's a light here. There's quite a few lights, LEDs behind me, things like that, right? That definitely helps with the professional look of things. I'm filming this on my phone specifically to give you an idea that you don't necessarily have to have cameras. I do have a number of Sony cameras that I do everything on that can be filmed up to 4K. I do things in 1080. I only use 4K when I know I'm going to be zooming in, and it gives me the same resolution. Even when I zoom in, it doesn't pixelate or ruin it in any way. So you can make content with your phone. Lots of people do that. It looks excellent. This is my front-facing camera, selfie cam in pro video mode on my Samsung phone. This is a microphone. It's a Shure SV77, I think, or SV7, and it's going with a USB cable directly into my phone. That's how that works. That's just a really convenient, easy setup for me to get these videos done for you guys. So that stuff really helps you stand out more. Actually, in the last year, something I'm grateful to hear from people when I see them is, man, even if I don't know them, they'll be like, man, dude, your videos are crazy cool. Like, the quality of your videos is amazing. And that really means a lot to me because it takes so much time. It takes a long time making them, in my case. And I've been learning these kind of skills by myself. I didn't study video or anything like that, on YouTube, and just trying things out. These days, I like getting into Foley, and I want to say, what am I think of? Sound design. That's what I mean. Sound design. Like listening to movies, video games, how all of that stuff makes videos sound better. So I do that in my guitar videos, actually. I play. It's all me playing. It's not like I've pre-recorded it and then I, mime or whatever. Everything's me playing on camera. Even for my older YouTube content, I used to record one, like the right ear, for example, pre-record the whole thing, and then I play the whole thing panned left and try to match as best as I can. So you're still seeing a live performance on camera. These days, I still do that. I play live on the camera or on video like that, with it recording into Logic Pro. And then I do extra sound design underneath. So bass booms, risers, all this kind of stuff to make the production sound even heavier and even bigger. So that's stuff you can start learning about, which helps. Now, if we think about YouTube, for example, YouTube's something different. I see YouTube as a platform to really build a community, and I can make longer form content. I can make longer videos that people are more willing to sit through and watch. If people aren't willing to sit through and watch them, it's probably because my videos aren't good enough yet, which is absolutely fine, or they're boring. But that's how I see YouTube. So try to think about the different social platforms and think about the kind of content you make for them. Because the sad reality is that being a content creator or making stuff like this takes time. It does take up a lot of time. It also takes time to become more natural on camera. Like, that's what I'd say about social media. For YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, I used to use TikTok. I used to make tiny little 15-second guitar lessons that blew up. Just, for example, the guitar chord, me strumming it. That seemed to blow up like, 275k views or things like that. That was cool, but I don't do that anymore. So I don't really use TikTok. I can't really speak about TikTok, but I use Instagram and YouTube. Professional photos definitely helps. Building a professional website, you need to think about the reason for doing that. If it's to have a professional site so that people take you seriously when you are getting professional work, companies, and I can talk more about the different kind of companies and different kind of work that's available. If you want, I can do that. Just let me know in the messages or in the comments below. Please let me know. So the website's there to attract different kind of people, or there for a purpose of just showing people things. If I want to get teaching work, I can send them to the website. If I want them to buy my merchandise, I can send them to the website where it's on there. If I want people to sign up to my guitar lessons or guitar courses online, it's also on the website. So you think about your website and what the function of that website is. It can be a free website. You don't have to pay in the beginning. Like, I only just started paying for all the extra bells and whistles on my website this year. Prior to that, it was all just free. And it just served as a visual portfolio for people to be able to see things, and people to be able to click on my calendar and book online lessons with me to have remote guitar lessons. If I have a decent feeling guitar, but it sounds a bit pants, can I put new pickups in it? Will it sound better? Besides the strings and the pickups, what other factors are at play here? Okay, so I think the first thing is the overall quality of the guitar, not necessarily the pickups. We don't have to spend a lot of money nowadays to get a good sounding guitar or to get a good guitar. Think about what your goals are with the guitar. First of all, what styles are you trying to use the guitar for? Some of my guitars are really cheap. So I know you live in the UK. I think I paid £250 for my purple Strat. I'll grab that here for you. 1 second. So this guy. So this is a classic vibe Fender Strat in burgundy mist. So I spent, I think, £250 on that used, something like that. I was living in Greece at the time. I liked the pickups in it, but I wanted something better because it was a cheap guitar. I thought it doesn't matter if I put some money into it. So I bought some Fender, what are they? They're Stevie Ray Vaughan's style pickups. They've got on the name. Texas Specials. That's it. Fender Texas Specials. Bought them used and had them put in for me. Now the pickups do dramatically change the sound of this guitar, which is cool. I will probably put some more versatile pickups in them again at some point. It's not my main guitar. I have another US Strat. What I'm saying is I'd recommend doing it on a guitar that you're kind of happy with in the first place. If you think the guitar is a bit pants, you know, if you're producing, you can get around that a lot. You can get around that with EQ. You can get around that with lots of different stuff. I never changed pickups before I got this guitar. And then now I have another guitar with different pickups in it. It had Duncan designed pickups, which I'm not the biggest fan of. They're okay, but it just didn't give me the sound I wanted and the articulation and clarity I wanted for my professional work, my gigs with that guitar. So I put a Seymour Duncan full shred in there and like a hot rail in the neck. And I'm much happier with that now. I love it. Or a cool rail in the neck, I think it was. I was happy with the guitar in the first place, just didn't like the sound of the pickups. So try to think about what you want out of the instrument. Then think about whether it's worth putting pickups in it, because it will change the sound. But if you're recording, the overall thing that's going to change the sound of your instrument, or if you're just playing live in general, is your speaker cabinet. So in modern, like in production these days, we have something called impulse responses. Someone has taken a capture of that speaker, and it's a digital file that we can use when recording. We can also use them live. So I use Kempers and I can put different impulse responses into that, into a Helix. Lots of modern amp simulators have that. Even if you're using a real amplifier, it's the speaker cabinet, the speaker, not the wooden cabinet necessarily, the speaker itself that has a big difference, makes a big difference. So sometimes it's not the instrument. The instrument feels great, but doesn't sound the best. I would actually say start looking at the speakers that you're using in your amp sim, or your digital effects processing. If it has an amp processing unit in there, like a Helix, Mua, Hot Tone, Axe Effects, Kemper, things like that. And you can get used ones of those, the older editions that still sound fantastic. And if you can replace the speakers in them, you can buy speakers from so many companies online, so many famous, like wicked metal guitar players or whatever. You know, I have thousands of them, and I will record a guitar sound and then go through the speaker and switch the speaker until I find what I like for the song, for the production, or perhaps in my live performings, I will have to find a speaker cabinet that suits that live environment better. So, nutshell, change the pickups if you want to get a specific sound out of the pickups that are not, that's not already available in the pickups or from the pickups you have in the guitar. Take a look at speaker cabinets or impulse responses. If you have a DAW that can load those impulse responses in, you can get a free impulse response loader, cab loader online. Or if you have a digital unit where you're getting your amp and tones from, see if you can switch speakers out. Then you just find some that you like. And once you like it, you're happy with it. That's my answer.